gamers, 12 games, 24 hours. Resident Evil Challenge 2022.
What's going on, guys? Nougie from Resident Evil Challenger here with a very exciting video today, because that's right, get the drum roll out, because today we will be unveiling the stipulations and official date for the 2022 Christmas Challenge, which is very exciting. But before we get into that, first things first, tonight I will be doing a blind playthrough of Silent Hill 3, so make sure you come and join me for that. I'm going to need some company. Nathan and Izzy aren't going to be there. This is going to be the first live stream I've done by myself in nearly half a year. So yes, I need some company. It'll be a lot of fun. It'll be the first time that I've played Silent Hill 3, and I'm super stoked for it. Really excited. So yeah, I know some of you will be asking, whatever happened to Alan Wake? I started that about half a year ago, and I'll just be honest with you, it just didn't click with me, and I think it came across in the video. I gave it a go. I tried the first part. I tried it for about 3 or 4 hours, and I just wasn't connecting with it. And unfortunately, now that we're out of lockdown, the pandemic is done, it's back to business, and I just don't have quite as much free time to do live streams and gaming as I would love to. So the time that I do have, I just really want to make sure I'm doing stuff I'm really passionate about and I'm really enjoying. And I'm very certain that Silent Hill 3 will be a part of that. So no Alan Wake for the time being. I know you guys voted for it, but yeah, it may be a long time until that's done. So let's go for Silent Hill 3. And I hope you guys can join me for part 1 tonight, and then part 2 will likely be coming next week. We also will be continuing on with the community dice challenges maybe next month, probably from October. We're going to give it a little bit of a break for a little bit. I'm aware that we have smashed out a load of them this year, and it has been a lot of fun. But yeah, I thought it was good to mix things up a little bit, so that's why we're trying the blind playthrough tonight. Anyways, enough waffling. You want to know what we're going to be doing in this 2022 challenge, don't you? So let me unveil to you what I will be doing. And first off, let me just say that nothing is 100% set in stone other than our game selection. So the games are set in stone, they're confirmed, but the stipulations, if you're not into them, if you've got some better ideas, we're always open to your suggestions. So if you want to make any suggestions, leave a comment on YouTube below, or head over to the stipulation workshop on our Discord, and we read every single message that is put there. Me, Nathan, Izzy, returning 3 gamers, 12 games, 24 hours on Saturday, December 3rd, 2022. So that is less than 3 months away, which is absolutely crazy. Doesn't feel like that long ago since I did the solo challenge, which I still haven't finished the video edit for. Now that it's been 9 months since I did that, I really do need to get my head down and crack on with it. My aim is to try and get that video finished before we do this next Christmas challenge, so hopefully that'll figure out. But yeah, we'll be doing 12 games between the 3 of us, me, Nathan and Izzy. Hopefully this guy doesn't fuck it up for everyone. But, I mean, once you hear these stipulations, there's a fair chance that could happen. So, to begin with, we've been speaking about this for a while. The first game that all 3 of us are going to play at the same time, something that we've never done before, we will be doing a race of Resident Evil 4. Our weapons will be in a lucky dip pot. So all of the weapons from Resident Evil 4, not including the special weapons, hand cannon, rocket launcher, those things are discarded. So just like handguns, pistols, shotguns, rifles, magnums, all of those will be in a pot that all 3 of us will be sharing together. We start the game, all 3 of us will have to pick one weapon out of that pot at random to begin with. So it could be that someone has to start the game with just the mine thrower. It could be that someone has to start the game with just the rifle. It could be that someone has to start the game with one of the other weapons that are in there. So it's going to be a very interesting start. And then once one of the 8 boss fights have been beaten in the game, starting with El Gigante, that's the first boss fight that we're counting, then you'll be able to choose another weapon out of the pot and continue with that in your inventory at random. But because this pot will be shared between the three of us, that means there'll be no crossing over with the weapons, meaning only one person will get the red 9, only one person will get the broken butterfly, only one person will get the rifle, and so forth. Could end up that one person gets all the handguns, one person gets all the shotguns. So it's going to be really interesting, and it's going to stagger how we're playing quite interestingly. And also there are some non-mandatory boss fights in there as well. So we'll have the choice of deciding whether we want to do some of the boss fights like Salazar's right hand Verdugo. So you can decide whether to do the boss fight to gain another weapon, or you try and win the race and you run on and you crack on, try to get a bit faster time, but without that additional weapon. So yeah, I'm fascinated to see how this plans out, how this plays out, and I really have no idea who will win it because there's so much up in the air. There's also one other thing as well. First person that makes it to Sadler will be handicapped because they won't be able to use the final rocket launcher. So whoever gets to Sadler first has to beat them with the weapons that they've got in their inventory. So that's basically what all three of us are going to be starting with. It's going to be on normal mode. We'll have a load of cash so that we are able to buy these weapons. And also one other thing as well is the weapons will have no upgrades when we start with them, and you'll only be allowed to do one upgrade per sub-chapter. Those upgrades as well have to be different. So you'll only be able to use one firepower upgrade, for example, one reloading speed upgrade, one capacity upgrade, etc. So you can't just spam firepower on all of your weapons. You'll only be able to upgrade one weapon with firepower. So yeah, it's going to be a really interesting one. I think it's going to keep it very balanced, and there's a lot of it that will be decided on the day. So you definitely don't want to miss out on that. So all three of us will be starting with that. My second game, this is going to be a really interesting one. Something that has never taken place before in a Resident Evil challenge. Something that you guys have been asking for years. It got suggested in the stipulation workshop, and I've been dreading it for a long time. I've been trying to weasel my way out of it, but now it's going to happen. I'm going to be doing Resident Evil 7 on Madhouse mode, which, yeah, I've only beaten Resident Evil 7 once. And I've tried Madhouse mode once before, and I couldn't get past Mia. And I've tried many, many times. So yeah, not being able to get past the first 30 minutes of the game will be, yeah, quite fun to watch, I think, for you guys. But yeah, we'll see. So that's basically what my second game will be. I am planning to do some practice beforehand, but still, Madhouse is no walk in the park. So that will be game number 2 for Nougie. Game number 3, another one that was suggested in the stipulation workshop, will be Resident Evil 2 Remake on hardcore mode. So it was suggested in the stipulation workshop that I try Leon's, well, we didn't actually decide which scenario, but Leon's scenario, and the stipulation was no upgrades and no grenades. So we could go for that. But you know how much I love Claire Redfield, my favourite character in the series. I'm always kind of drawn to playing as her. So I am also considering whether I do that hardcore mode run as Claire with no upgrades. So we'll see. Maybe we'll put it down to a poll and let you guys decide. But again, if you've got some any other ideas that you want me to do on Resident Evil 2 Remake, please let us know in the comments or in the stipulation workshop. The final game that I will be playing will be Resident Evil 2 Original Christmas Edition. So of course, with it being Christmas, we need to play the Resident Evil Challenger mod in Christmas Edition. It was great fun having it in the challenge last year. It's now, I feel like it has to be a bit of a staple in some way. So I will be doing that, but with a stipulation that I've never tried before. And this again was suggested in the stipulation workshop, and that is Nightmare mode, handgun only. So yeah, that will be a very, very fascinating one. So those are the stipulations, and those are the games that I'm planning to do. We're now going to head over to Nathan and Izzy, who will be sharing what they're up to.
I hope you're all looking forward to the upcoming challenge in December. I know I am. Although I don't think it's going to go quite as swimmingly for me this time, because for a start, I'm afraid to say I'm not playing Resident Evil 0. I know, it's terrible. But we have got some more interesting games coming up, because I'll be playing Code Veronica, which, as you all know, isn't my strongest game, but I'm actually quite looking forward to it. And got an interesting stipulation, which will be knife and percentage weapons only. Also, probably fighting all the bosses, which includes the spider boss, which I've never done before, I don't think. But yeah, so I'm quite looking forward to that, although it's definitely not going to go as well as I think it's going to go. And then we've got Resident Evil 3 Remake, which haven't quite decided on the stipulations for yet, but there's a few been thrown around, so doing just like Nightmare mode, which I've never done before, the no box run, which I've sort of tried a little bit before, and I kind of struggled, but I didn't get too much into it, but I think it could be an interesting one. And then maybe actually even trying a hot dogger only run, but on assisted mode, because I'm definitely not quite as good at it as Luke was. And obviously we know how Luke struggled towards the end, but he did soldier on through it. The only thing with that is obviously you get the auto healing on assisted, so might come up with a stipulation to make that bit more difficult, but we'll have to wait and see, because who knows. And then one I'm actually really, really looking forward to is the modded Resident Evil 1. Now, I haven't played normal Resident Evil 1. The closest I got to is on the DS, which I quite liked. It was a good game. Very good game, in fact. But yeah, the modded one with me as the main character, which will be... I've seen videos of Nougie playing it, but I haven't actually played it myself, so that'll be another one I'll be really looking forward to. Stipulations on that is possibly a no reloading, which it sounds worse than it is. It means that you can have some decent firepower for certain bosses, but then basically the rest is knife only, which is doable, definitely. But yeah, so I quite like all the stipulations. If you've got any other ideas, especially for 3, please feel free to put them in the Discord and we will discuss them. Otherwise, who knows, I might end up just drawing the Resident Evil 3 stip out of a hat. But yeah, so I hope you are all looking forward to it, and as much as I am, and look forward to seeing us in some interesting Christmas outfits, which I haven't quite decided on yet, but we'll see what happens. Well, updates later.
So, as I'm sure you're all aware by now, we're going to be starting off with the Resident Evil 4 race. So, me, Nathan and Nougie, all going to be starting off playing Resident Evil 4. Going to see who can beat it the quickest. There's going to be a couple of, handicaps, a little bit of stipulation in there just to make it a bit more interesting. So, once I have finished Resident Evil 4, I shall be moving on to my second game, which is going to be Resident Evil Village. First time it's ever appearing in a challenge, might be the last, depending on how it goes. And I will be playing Resident Evil Village on hardcore mode off of a clean save. So no health upgrades, no weapon upgrades, nothing, no extra weapons, nothing at all. Just going to be a clean start, run through it, see how hard it is. I think it is a little bit of a risky choice because obviously, I'm not overly familiar with the game, but I feel like it's one of those games where once you've played it through once, you know quite a bit about it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing Village. And once I have done Village, I will be moving on to my wildcard. Now, we've got 8 different wildcards to choose from. I'm not going to announce any of them yet. However, I can say with 100% certainty that you will not be at risk of watching Leech Hunter this year. We have decided to remove Leech Hunter. No one's going to be playing it. It's not going to suddenly jump up from around the corner and scare everyone. No one wants to see it again. It's not in the challenge this year. So definitely won't be Leech Hunter, but there will be 8 different options for me to randomly choose from, and we will have some stipulations in accordance with the game. Once I have done the wildcard, I will be moving into my ill-fated favourite and best at Resident Evil game, which is Resident Evil 5. Now, I went into the challenge last year in total confidence, which is why I left 5 until my last game, and it turned out to be a right pain in the backside. So, I will be doing 5. I will be doing it on my own, and I'll be doing it on normal mode. However, the stipulations that we've come up with so far involve me totally clearing the stockpile, so not having any extra grenades, health, ammo, and so on. To be fair, I used most of it up in last year's run, and I haven't played it since. So the stockpile is going to be totally clear, and then I will be restricted to 2 healing items per chapter. So that is technically 1 healing item per character per sub-chapter. Which I think is going to be relatively straightforward. However, not having the full stockpile, I think, is going to be quite devastating, because you get through so much ammo in that game. But yeah, this is what we have in place at the moment. Like I said, nothing is nailed in stone, so if anyone wants to keep putting in their suggestions, please do, and we'll be looking at every single one of them. Really look forward to discussing this more with you guys. Take care, and we'll catch up with you soon. Thanks a lot.
So there you have it, folks. Those are all of the 12 games and stipulations for you. But as we said at the start of the video, it's not set in stone. So if you've got any suggestions, there's something that you think that we could do better or something else that you'd like to see instead, please do let us know. But the games themselves are confirmed, so it's just the stipulations that we're going to be chopping and changing. So yeah, very exciting stuff. As I said, I will be doing Silent Hill 3 in just a couple of hours tonight, starting from 7 p.m. Also, I know that we mentioned in the previous Community Dice Challenge about potentially doing a September the 28th Resident Evil 3 live stream. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do that anymore because I've just had a job confirmed in Switzerland for a couple of days. So I won't actually be in the country to do it. And I don't think I can actually fly out with all of my streaming equipment, unfortunately. But in the meantime, I will have Silent Hill 3 over the next couple of weeks. This will either be a 2 or 3-parter, depending on how long it takes me to solve some of these puzzles. Hopefully there won't be any puzzles that take me 45 minutes again to figure out. But who knows? We'll see. We will find out tonight. But yes, thank you very much, guys. And also thank you very much again for all of your incredible donations over the past couple of months. We are just under 24k now. And as we said, if we hit 25k, there will be a brand new episode of The Dare Show coming for you. If we manage to hit 25k before December 3rd, we will be able to get the Dare Show episode in the challenge for you like we did last year. So I know times are pretty tight at the moment, especially here in the UK with everything that's going on. But yeah, donations are very much appreciated, and you've done some fantastic work for Save the Children in their Saving the Children out in Ukraine humanitarian campaign. So thank you again. Anyways, I need to get ready for Silent Hill 3. So in the meantime, stay safe, and we'll see you later.
3 gamers, 12 games, 24 hours. Resident Evil Challenge 2022.